Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to CharacterRoom Africa. Today is 15th day of October 2025. We are halfway to the end of the month and then Christmas is coming fast. Hope we've started planning. How are you? How are you today? Good? Okay, good. Welcome again. Today we are going to talk about something. We started talking about it yesterday, but then we'll look at it deeply. That thing called integrity. So I'll do less of talking today and allow every other person to share. Please, you're free to share, but then let's try as much as possible to allow other people to share. That means we'd spend less time talking so that we'll have a lot of people sharing. And if you're just joining us for the first time, we always want to say hello, or you say hello to us. So towards the end of the session today, please, we'll meet you just to say hello and tell us where you're joining from. And if you're yet to join our YouTube channel, please do so. We're going to share the link here. Please, let's connect and share our videos. We have over 120 or so videos on YouTube since we started this character room. I think after the first 1 month or 2 months, we started streaming loads of things there to learn from. So please, let's spread the word. Let's share the good news. Let's bring other people to talk about character in Nigeria and in Africa. So this morning, we are going to look at how to lead with integrity in a compromised world. And you know how this session is coming up now that lots of things happening at the same time. And remember that this week, we are not all about the problem. We are all about the solutions. What can we do? And as much as possible, let's practicalize it. Let's personalize the solution. It's not just saying they or people, but what am I going to do? How am I going to help build a more, a country or a world that is filled with people of integrity and not people who keep compromising. So let's start with that word. What does integrity mean to you? Please don't generalize it. To me, it means that I am, or it means that this is how I see things. Please, let's personalize it, not generalizing it. So the question is, what does integrity mean to me? There are lots of definitions of integrity out there. Lots of them, especially the most, common one that people will say is doing something when no one is watching or something. But let's leave those generalized and common way of describing or talking about integrity. To you, what does it mean in your approach with people around you, at work? What does integrity mean to you and your work? Please, anyone can go. Mr. Labinte.
So, good morning. It's raining heavily here in Port Harcourt. I hope you can all hear my voice. This morning I'm wearing blue and blue with Flora. So we are partners in progress. When we talk about integrity, to my own understanding, we cannot talk about integrity without making a reference to honesty. So honesty is about saying the truth. Integrity, from the way I've understood it, is saying the truth and saying it consistently. Personalizing it to my own self now, how have I behaved in relation to others? in my social interactions, in my social capital? How have I played it out? Have I been able to say the truth and say it always in a manner, in a respectable way, in my own dealings with my family, in my own dealings with the extended family, that is the church, the general society, and all that? I like to stand for the truth. I like to say the truth always, both within and outside. That is the way for short, because there is no time. So I want to end it there. But integrity, by my own definition and by my own understanding, is saying the truth, standing by the truth, and always till the end of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So one word there, very important, is consistency. And that makes it profound. It doesn't say that you're a perfect person, but it says that you're consistently doing this thing, so that when you did not do it, somebody has a reason, would give a reason for you. We say, oh no, it might not be her. Oh no, maybe she woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But then integrity is more like being consistent with your action, with your truth, with you being honest, with you showing up when you say you will show up. Good one. Thank you, Mr. Labinte. Sophie, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So to me, integrity means me as Sophie being true to my words, my actions, my thoughts, my feelings at every time, and keeping up with all this in the best way I can. So integrity means if I say I'm going to do this, I would have to do it. If I say I'm going to show up at this time, I have to do it. If I have something I need to do, and I have to do it to the best of my ability, that's what integrity means to me. Thank you.
Thank you. To the best of my ability, that is excellence. Like if you're going to do something, it's not just doing it for doing sake. It's not just coming out, oh, they said we should come, I'm here. Oh, they said this, I'm doing this. Oh, they said this, I'm here. But integrity says, if I say I'm going to do something consistently, number one, and then I would be able to do it well and not haphazardly, so that time will keep passing. Taking notes. Thank you so much for sharing, Sophie. Ngozi, go ahead.
Good morning, CharacterRoom. Good morning, Flora.
Good morning.
So for me, Ngozi, integrity for me is keeping to my words at all times. For me, it's also, as much as I love to have conversations, to be careful with things I say, especially when I'm making promises, so that I can fulfill them. Integrity for me is owning my mistakes, accepting them, and choosing to do better and not dwell on them. But most importantly for me, in my business, it is being consistently doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It is me saying yes when it is yes, even when it's inconvenient. I'll give an example. In the month of July and August, August especially, it was a very tough month for us in food and grains capital. Like we literally didn't make our daily operational costs the whole of August. Yes, my manager and some of my staff could testify to that. But I have this bond. I call it a promise, a covenant between myself and my chief, that I must pay my staffs every month. We used to pay on 31st, but People would just, some of my staff would quit without prior notice. So we moved it to 7th. And it's a covenant for me that I must pay salaries on the 7th. It must not go beyond 7th. At that point, the company didn't have money to pay. But because it's something I've told myself, I must pay. I went as far as breaking a savings I had just to pay that salary. My staffs were even shocked that I was able to pay them because they knew that we made less than the operational cost for every month. So I paid the salary, and the next month, September, was the same. I was unable to pay, but on the 8th, first thing on the 8th morning, the whole sales for the 3 shows was what I used in paying their salary. So that for me is integrity. And I'm glad I've been able to uphold that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a good example. You know, sometimes we don't know how these things happen, but we keep showing up every day. You can choose to say, "Oh, you guys know that we didn't break even. We didn't even make any sales, or yes, we made a little, but then there's costs and there's so much that we need to do. But then I'm going to find a way to keep my words. I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure that I don't disappoint these people looking up to me." And the more we do these things, the more we teach them how to become, how to explore, how to be better people. So, you know, yesterday we were talking about character, and we said something around, see, these things that we talk about in the character room, they are not easy. When you think about it in a different way, not easy at all. But we find ways of doing it. Let's go ahead. No, Adeyoshola, go ahead.
Hello, good morning, character champions. For me, integrity is being honest when nobody is looking at you, when nobody is watching. And why I say this is because there was a time in my church, we were contributing some money, and the money was given to me. But you know, when people are making contributions and people don't really turn up on time towards that contribution, the money came from another source and that need was met. But along the line, the money was forgotten, you know. I had to go and call one of our, it was in our house fellowship. I had to go and meet one of our leaders in the church that this money is still with me. They were all shocked. I said, yes. I said, it's with me. What will I do with it? So they had all forgotten. Nobody remembered. But I gave it back to them. You understand? I called attention. It's something I could have, you know, say nobody remember and I will eat it. But I can't do that. And this reminds me again of something that usually happened or that happened in the past when I was working in an organization. You know, each time I buy anything, people will say, I like this, your shoe, I like this, I like that. And they will ask me how much. I will tell them, they'll say, can you buy for me? And by the time I'm going back to go and get it for them, because I'm buying like 3 or I'm buying like 6, it has, you know, the price will now reduce. I'll come back, I'll give them their change. They'll be like, it has reduced. I say, yes, because we are buying more. We are buying more than one. To the extent that people now, you know, in that place, there were so many married women, they will say, let's buy maybe carton of fish. You know, those days, you know, should do that. The railway, they were still selling on the rail lines. We'll go, we buy all those stuff, we will share. They will say I should be the one that will share. I will share. Nobody will complain. We'll just share it. I'll share it. I'll put it in the freezer. We had a freezer, I mean a fridge in our department. So I'll just keep it there. So everybody, anytime you are going, you just go there and carry your own share. So this is integrity for me. Do things that even when people are not watching, you are doing the right thing and you are justified. Your heart is clean that yes, I have done well. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That example reminded me of something. that happened when I was about to leave my former place of work. So throughout the 3.5 years I stayed there, I was the custodian of power bank. So as the head of training, I have access to power bank that we give to fellows. And so I could, as well as well, you have the numbers, you know how many they are. So maybe when we pack, we are going back, some people will return and then you say this one is not working or this one is working and you have some left. So when I was going, I packed, like, I think I had two, and I returned it to the Flora. You're old too much. If you carry this thing go, now nobody will know because you've already resigned. If you carry this thing go, now nobody will know because you've already resigned. I said, but it's not mine. I have to return the power bank because nobody has a record of it. I know the ones that they returned and the ones that I could as well say, oh, this one, we don't know where it is. But it's all about, this thing is not yours. You have to return it. So even that was the last day, my last day at work. I had to return it to the administrator. People were like, your own self. But it's just saying that this thing is not yours. Return it, give it to the people that owns it. You may need it. Yes, even at that time, I needed power bank. But of course, it's not yours. You can as well use your salary to buy power bank. So those little details matter a lot. Nobody will know. Nobody knows you had access to it, that you still have some remaining, or you just choose to return it to the rightful owners. Well done. Thanks everyone for sharing. Let's hear from Kurena Chukwu.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, character champions. So when I hear the word integrity, what comes to my mind is I tend to look at it from the angle of the root word. What really is the root word of that word integrity? And integrity came from the root word integer, which means whole or complete. And that means oneness in one's action, in one's words, in one's predispositions. So when one's words aligns with one's action, what you say is the same thing with what everything, wherever you are, both in public or in private, the thing you stand for, the things you say, the things you do, they are the same. There's no contradiction. That is integrity. And I also tend to use the analogy of what a character stands for. Let's say the letter A, for instance. What letter A stands for is the same thing it stands for wherever you are. If you go outside Nigeria, it's still A is A. There's no change. B is B. There's no change. The number 1, 2, 3, they are the same, whether in Nigeria, in Canada, in Indonesia, anywhere. And when we bring it home, we see that integrity has to do with one's decision to be oneself wherever they are. So it means commitment to doing what is right, not what is easy. I'll give an example of how integrity plays out in terms of morality. So when I was growing up, I've been trained with the mindset that as a young boy, I shouldn't engage in taking of alcohol. That is a kind of moral principle my dad taught me, and because I've never seen him taking alcohol right from when I was born. So there was a time I traveled for IT. I went to a different state where nobody was there. My dad, my mom, nobody. And the people I was staying with, they were people who drink a lot, because I was living with three young men. And then this set of people I was living with, they drink a lot. As a matter of fact, anytime we are returning from work, because we do come back around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., we used to go to the beer palace. We are returning with our car, we just branch, and they will take me to the beer palace, because I can't say I want to go home. They are the ones driving the car, so I will always follow them to the beer parlor. So I saw myself in an environment where it was very difficult to avoid taking alcohol, right? But because This is not something I was trained with. And whether my dad was there or my mom was, whether they were not there or not, it doesn't matter. I just made a decision that I would never take. And this set of people kept, every time we go, they kept pushing me. Say, take now, just one bottle, take. They kept, there was nothing they didn't do. The pressure was too much. But what I had to do was, each time they were taking their own, I would just demand for what I know I'm okay with, which is malt, right? So that is integrity. When you don't compromise with your value, no matter whether someone is there or not, right? So integrity also plays out in different areas. In the area of telling lies, integrity has to do with deciding to say the truth, whether it is going to be easy for you or not, right? So I'll just stop here. So the conclusion I want to give about integrity is the definition by C.C. Lewis. Now, there's a definition that I love so much. He says that integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. That's the definition. Lewis. He said integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much for sharing. Amazing insights coming from there. Speak your truth, maintain that. He talked about values, and I know that we've shared. I think April or May, we did lots of things around values. Even when we did our vision board. So when you think about integrity, you also choosing not to compromise your values. But the question is, do you even know your values? How many of us can say, oh, these are my values? Sophie says, excellence and integrity are my core values. Do you know yours? Are there values that usually I'll ask people to, give them 25 value cards or 40 value cards, ask them to choose 5. And from that 5, I'll ask them to choose one that you cannot compromise. No matter what happens, no matter what is happening, you choose not to compromise this. Other ones, yeah, well, but then with this one, I choose to do better. I choose to, nothing will make me go outside this space. Do you have yours? Or do you want us to do that? Let's share in the chat. What is your core value? Let's start with that. Please share in the chat your core values. What are those things you cannot compromise? And if you have just one, share. If you have 2, 3, share. Put them in ranking order so that we know this one is the first one is the one that no matter what happens on earth, this is me. And I'm reading the chat. Please share in the chat. Mr. Labinte said, well done, Atingozi, for building up confidence. Your staff repose in you. Okay. Integrity is also about conscience. Yes, what is your conscience telling you? And there is this thing about people saying, oh, your conscience is dead. Your conscience is never dead. You are just making choices for yourself. But your conscience is never dead. You choose to do otherwise, but your conscience is never dead. So sometimes you feel, oh, no, I can't do this. I can't do that one. This one is stressing me. This one is not stressing me. But your conscience, it's always alive. Okay, Benjamin said, I remember during when Miss Flora had issues with her power bank, or had custody of power banks, yet refused to take a new one for herself. Yes, I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Yes, I have access to it. I can take it. I can even take it and go and confess to management that I actually needed Barabbas and I took one, but I refused to do that. That's just keeping to, and knowing that you have lots of people around you. What are you teaching them? And he said, I learned from them. Because he said, I just walked past a pregnant lady dressed almost naked, smoking alongside her smoking boyfriend and husband. The character champion in me wants to approach her, but they might be my head for me.
You don't understand what I just Oh my goodness. Stafla, please. I'm laughing.
Before they
I
even
for
give you the
my
the cigarette to smoke this morning. Patricia said, good morning, character champions. My understanding of integrity can be checked also in finance, aside behavior. My question will be, can one lose integrity? And at what point? At every point you can lose it, but it's not something, it's why we call it a behavior that is consistent. It's something that you rebuild. Yes, I made a mistake. I reflected around it. I go back and I continue. We're not saying you're a perfect person. We are saying that at every point in time, we are making conscious efforts to do things better, to explore our options, to say, oh, this thing is not serving me and I need to stop doing it. So integrity is, it's something that we build every day. That's why it's good to do reflection. My students here, they are still fighting me because I said they should do reflection. I told them they should come and ask people who had already done my course that you always do reflection in a manual self. And they'll be like, no, Miss Flo. I say, well, they're still fighting me. I'm waiting for them. Some people did theirs, uploaded on the e-learning platform. Some did not do. It's up to them. But I'm also letting them understand what it means to reflect every day, to think through your actions. What did I do today? What will I do better? And it's a matter of, there's never a time where you lose it if you choose not to. Some days you make mistakes, some days you compromise, but don't do it intentionally. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Let's allow it to be mistakes, but don't do it intentionally. That's what I would say. Blessing says, your angels are doing great. Many thanks. Augustine said, okay, excellent. So now people are responding to what's your core value. Abdullahi says integrity, excellence. Oyetunde says integrity and respect, because he said truth. Okay, I've already answered again, honesty. Tunde said excellent, consistency in integrity. It's Osrat says integrity. Samuel says saying the truth. Integrity, excellence, and love. Very, very profound. Love is very important. My personal values are love, integrity, modesty. Modesty. I like that word. One of the things that happened first, what do I call it now? 2 weeks ago, when I asked my students here, the younger ones, I asked them here too. I asked them, because we are talking about starting a business. What kind of business do you want to start as a group? And I asked them to look around the school. What's one problem that you want to solve? What is not going well here in school that you want to deal with? And one of them immediately, I did not even finish the question, she raised her hand, ma, our dressing. And I said, what happened to our dressing? Because here they are meant to dress modestly. You don't show your body, you cover up, you don't wear jean trousers, you wear baggies, you don't wear anything tight, you dress up very well. And that was what she said. And everybody said, I said, oh, you don't like the way you dress? No, we just like smart. I said, it's okay. But then that's our problem at this age. But modesty is good. And I believe that some of them, if you pass through here 4 years, you may find it difficult to go back to where all those things that doesn't glorify you, not even glorify anybody, glorify you, your body, exposing your body, letting people see all the parts of your body. But here, even if they will even send you away from the gate, when you don't dress the way you're supposed to dress, covering up and looking nothing so tight and all that. So excellence and respect in that order. Good. My sacred value though is liberty. Yes, liberating yourself and liberating other people. Amotaya said loyalty and kindness. In a related development, may I ask what is the relationship between integrity and trust? Trust is a value, and trust is something that people owe you or you owe someone. Integrity is something you owe yourself. You know, when you trust somebody, you are saying that this person did something for you to trust them. And it's usually, if it's not something that you are doing for yourself, it's usually what that person is doing that will make you trust them. You don't wake up to trust people. You may just naturally, liking this person. Okay, this person, but once they do something, you break that trust. You are no longer with them. But integrity is of you. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody. It doesn't mean that if this person is a bad person, I could choose not to be a person of integrity. No. But I can choose not to trust this person anymore because it didn't earn my trust. But for integrity's sake, this is me. I don't owe it to anybody. Nobody needs to do anything for me to be a person of integrity. Even when people around me misbehave or do bad things, I could also, I choose to be a person of integrity. But trust is, you can always choose not to trust people, especially if they did not do anything that will end that. Mr. Labinte, do you want to put context to that? Maybe that's why you're raising your hand.
Thanks for the explanation on the question that I posted regarding trust and integrity, but I'm just going to ask another question as a follow-up. If there is a relationship between conscience and integrity as well. But thanks for that explanation given regarding trust and integrity. But I'm coming up with another follow-up question. Is there a relationship between conscience and integrity? Thank you.
You're welcome. Who wants to help with this question? Anybody wants to share from your place of understanding? Vivian, go ahead.
Oh, can I get the question again?
What's the difference between conscience and integrity?
Or better say, relationship two.
Sorry, I'm on the road. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's a bit noisy.
So, when we talk about integrity is, like you said, doing the right thing, whether somebody is working or not, right? Now, your conscience is just that inner voice of God telling you if you want to do the wrong thing, don't do it, don't do it. But then God says that your will is your will and He will never take it away from you. So that your conscience is just that prompt that comes to your mind. Maybe when you're tempted or when you want to do something wrong, don't do this. You know you're a character champion. You know you're a child of God. Though. But at the end of the day, your will is your will. It's still your will to do it or not. And that is where your integrity is supposed to come in. Okay, my conscience has told me this is the right thing. Let me follow suit. So that they're not exactly the same.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Mr. Tunde, go ahead.
Good morning again, everyone.
Good morning.
Conscience and integrity. When you talk about conscience talks about your moral sense of right and wrong. Okay? It serves as a watchdog. It's a voice in your head or your heart in every time something is done, especially when those things are things that do not agree with a couple of things in you. There's a verse in the scriptures that talks about one man esteeming one day above the other and another man esteeming both day alike. That every man should be persuaded in his heart. Now, when you talk about conscience, it can be a very subjective matter. What Mr. Labinte will do, what Ngosika will do, and our conscience doesn't say anything, it is likely that I do such things and my conscience tells me I'm wrong. I'll give another practical examples. Just like someone said earlier about alcohol, I also grew up not taking alcohol. And I found myself in a gathering where someone who is my my mentor, both in business, in life, and even in spirituality, they offered us a red wine. And when they brought the red wine, whether 4% or thereabouts, he took it and I also took a part of it. And I decided to tell myself that I'll start drinking red wine. So also, my mom said to me, she went for a function where they are giving her a red wine to give to me. So I don't take alcohol. I wanted to give it out. I said I could not give it out. So the red wine stayed in my house. And by the time I took that one with a friend, I carried it wine, put it inside freezer. Every evening, I would take small red wine until I finish the bottle quap. And I told myself there was nothing bad in it, and I was going to continue. And there was the day I sat down. I wasn't anywhere particularly. And my conscience, and of course, the Holy Spirit uses your conscience. Okay, bros, you want to start drinking red wine. You that when people see you on the street, even on the street of where I live, they'll start keeping their beer bottle. So that means that when I am in some places, I will take red wine. But when I'm in some places, I will not take red wine. So I now told myself that Sunday, this is something you cannot do. I knew that if I had a family function, they don't born me well, make I carry red wine they drink. In fact, it's going to be very funny because everybody knows what I stand for over the years. So there, I think that there is an interplay of conscience and integrity there. Because I think that for me, it is not consistent with my integrity that I will drink red wine in some places. When Flora invites me to a party now, I will drink red wine. So when I'm with my family, I cannot drink red wine. It was a problem of integrity. But my conscience was such that came to judge me that, Mr. Man, you are beginning hypocritical. And I also think when we talk about integrity, it has a lot to do with transparency. Because sometimes you can be very diplomatic about things. So let me just stop there.
Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. Prerna, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Okay, just briefly, when we look at the concept of conscience, conscience has to do with the inner voice that guides our conduct. And there's this thing about consistency. When one consistently ignores that inner voice, then at a point the conscience becomes, the person actually no longer feels okay to follow the inner voice. You know, there's this thing called self-will, right? All of us, every one of us has conscience, and we have the tendency to decide what is right or wrong. But there is this self-will we have that can choose that even though the conscience is telling us this is wrong, we just choose we want to do it. Now, when this is constantly repeated, that's why some people you say that they are dead to their conscience. That's because they have consistently ignored that inner voice, right? And they decided to keep doing what is wrong. So at a point, they would just be, it becomes a habit. So the brain is now wired to just continue doing what is wrong. And the Bible referred to it as reprobate mind. Okay, so conscience helps in building integrity in the sense that when we are constantly responding to that inner voice, we are actually building our integrity. Then when we are constantly ignoring that inner voice that is always telling us this thing is wrong, check it where it's wrong, and we just ignore it, ignore it and say it does not matter, and we'll just do it, right? We are training the brain and the mind to flow with what is wrong, and that is when we become corrupt. So that is just a way I want to differentiate it. So in summary, conscience, when it is actually adhered to, helps in building integrity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know listeners, your conscious also conscious more like the why. Conscious help you think about, oh, why should I do this? And then the integrity is, how am I doing it? The conscience is your decision to uphold integrity. If you will embrace integrity, you must keep your conscience untainted. Beautiful way of putting it. So it's you be the one to keep reminding yourself, oh, I've chosen to do it. Just like Mr. Tunde said, this is me. Nobody, like, yes, people are going to talk, but I'm beginning to be intentional about, oh, I take red wine here, I don't take red wine here. I when I'm with other people, I do that. When I'm just all by myself, I take this. So well done everyone for sharing. And Ms. Alabint, I want to believe that we've answered your question. Okay, now I want us to take this conversation a little bit further, because remember, everything we are doing, we are thinking along. Yes, we are talking about ourselves, but we want to extend it to other people. We want to extend it to Nigeria. We want to extend it to Africa. We want to groom or want to build a more ethical society. That's why we show up here every day. So let's take it a little bit further. How do we build our life of integrity around people, especially thinking about Nigeria, thinking about everything that is happening, thinking around our businesses, thinking about elections out here, thinking about so many things? How do we allow ourselves to show our sense of integrity, or even the value that we say we hold so dear? So when I ask us about our core values, lots of things coming around, what do you call it now? Excellence, integrity, honesty. How do we show that to other people? Anyone, please go ahead. We want to now live in ourselves. We want to extend it to people. We want to extend it to Nigeria. We want to extend it to Africa. What can we do different? Mr. Labinto, you're not, where you noisy.
Okay, so I think there was an interference in the house where in my library, and there's no noise here. So given the fact that integrity has to do with credibility, with your core values, with consistency and transparency for short, we have always said that everything about character starts with us in our own very little corners. So so my people have a proverb says, when oil salts a finger, it will definitely spread to the others. So if we can all start this integrity thing with our own families and our children, if we are exemplary in our disposition, and then everybody in the family begin to, imbibe and display this value of being consistent with our words, with our actions, and then as they go out to interact with other people, then it means that we are indirectly or directly spreading this value of integrity onto the other people. So it's like, in our own medical parlance, spreading of AIDS, two people will have a connection, and from there, from two people it goes to four people, and then it multiplies, and then
my God. So sorry about that. Sophie, go ahead.
Okay. For me, in response to your question, I think spreading to others has to start with our lifestyle, how we show up, how we carry ourselves. And sometimes we don't. There's this saying I always hear that we've had a lot of sermons. We need to see these sermons. So, how do we see these sermons? Through our lifestyles. How do we show up? It's not enough to say, oh, be a person of integrity, uphold your values. People need to see it in the way you do your things, in the way you talk to people, in everything you do. People need to see it. I have an example. At my former place of work, something happened. I used to work in the HR and admin side, and there was this time for salary review, and everything salary is always confidential. But somehow, a part of it got out. I don't know how. And when my boss came to the office that day, she was so furious, and she summoned everyone that was part of that thing. She was asking them one by one. When she got to me, she said, "You just go. I know that you don't have time for these things." And she passed me. She never asked me. And truly, I didn't have anything to do with what she was asking. But as she was asking her that, she just skipped me and said, "You just go. You don't have time for these things." And eventually she got to the person, and of course she was very pissed. But then this my boss has never told me before that maybe she likes how I show up or anything, but that very incident really spoke volume to me. So I think in the way we do our things, people should see that, oh yes, this person, I want to, there's something to learn from this person, in the way this person shows up. So again, it's not enough to say it, you should do it, you should live it, live the sermon you preach. So that's how I feel we can spread it to others. Thank you.
That's so profound. Leave the sermon you preach. See that word. Very, very difficult. And that will lead me to where I want us to go next. Because when you decide to leave this sermon that you preach, when you decide to be a person of integrity, yes, people notice you, or you think that they don't notice you. But there's another part of it where you feel lonely, where you feel that your mates, they've all achieved so much, where you see that, oh, I started this journey with these people, oh, but here they see where they are, see where I am, where you see that life is beginning to, take you because you decide to be a person of integrity. You see yourself as, I am behind, others are before me. Let's talk about that briefly. How do we, start thinking less of that and staying on the track and keep moving, irrespective of the fact that sometimes being an ethical person, being a person of integrity, makes it seems that you are far behind. Tunde then Korenachu.
Thank you. I want to cite some personal experience, especially with what Ms. Flora just said. For 20 years or thereabouts, I said it brilliantly stupid. There was no result to show for whatever it is or whatever it was that I think that I knew. So along the line, it was a life that was very difficult. So there was a project I was involved in. That was 2021, and I got someone to finance a particular project. So right there were a couple of things that I did to. Okay, for example, there were a number of things that I did that could be one way defended. Okay, what is that? A particular paper is sold for a particular amount, and the person selling the paper is my friend. He gave me a special price. So the price he gave me was not the same price that I used. And on the project, I did some padding here and there. And at the end of the day, after the project, you know, I made some money though, but then the money I made, I put in, what is that thing that they did, you know, some online investment. I lost all the money. Later, I started thinking that perhaps the reason I lost that money was the fact that the way I made the money was really not very consistent with what I think my ideals in life are. But at that time, you know, I felt seriously left behind. That's one. Then also, secondly, I've said here a number of times, when you even, you say, I agree, I'd grown all my life in the church, and I always said it, I'm unapologetically Christian. So even when you are in those kind of environments, and when you hear testimonies, a lot of times, even when I hear that, something in me, you know, does not agree with it. So I realized at some point in time in my life, because of, you know, the pressure of not meeting up, there were things, people outside can never pressure me to do anything. There were things, my situation, you know, when you kept your children are sent out of school, your landlady is there to shout on top of your head. You look at your children and you are almost crying that, you know, but along the line, I just realized that that was not me. And one way or the other, where I am today, I will look back and I just realize that I as a person will not find it easy. Maybe joining politics. Of course, it's very easy to join politics, but for me, it's not for me. So let me begin to bring it home. Once you are someone who are decided, irrespective of your situation part time, that you stand for integrity, that you stand for a particular level of standards in life, when you meet yourself in those situations, when you see yourself compromising, you just cannot accept it, except if, let me use the terms of the Bible, you intentionally decide to backslid and you say anything goes. But if you're truly a man of integrity, there's something I know. If I ever go to steal or do things unethical and I make so much money, I am not sure I cannot be so ashamed of myself that I could end my life by myself because of self-shame. So when I look at those things, it is cheaper for me to continue to follow the life of integrity that I am on and not cross the line. Let me put it there. Once you have put a line for yourself that, you see, Tunde, this line you cannot cross. Let me close with this experience that I have lately. I got a particular favor in an ecosystem that I belong to, Faith Foundation. And I just got everybody everywhere favor. And later I was talking to the dean of the school that somebody did this for me, somebody did this for me. The man interrupted me and said, Tunde, wait, they didn't do it for you. They did it because of the person you have been in this community over the years. So if you are somebody who is consistent with your integrity, even when you do a wrong thing, people will say it is not you, unless when you now get there and you own up. So for me, it talks about consistency. When you are consistent in my office, I every time, because I am not a person of integrity when it comes to shouts. I can shout for Africa. If there is shouting in Olympics, I will collect gold. I know it's not good, but I always ask for feedback, and every time I did it, I come back and I apologize. So let me stop there.
We are going to give you that Olympic medal. And you know, sometimes some of us who like things done well, we tend to shout. I'm also learning to do that better. communicate better instead of, shouting at people. It's a conscious thing. So please, let's keep learning. Just like my sister Vivian is also like, when they annoy her like this, she say, if not for Flora, I would deal with these people. Let's just let's just try as much as possible to contain our expectations of
the shouted yesterday, but I will not shout today.
All right, Korena, let's round off with you with your submission quickly, please. Our time is fast.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just be very quick. From your statement, one of the ways I believe we can keep pushing despite the opposition is understanding our why. Why are we choosing to be people of integrity? So I'll personally share my own why, because I believe each of us has their own why, and it's good your why has to be very strong. Now, personally, what drives me to choose a life of integrity is my relationship with God, nothing else. Because when your why is strong enough, then the how is. Whenever I talk about my relationship with God, I'm focusing on living a life of integrity because I want to please God, not man. Because when what you are doing is to please man, you will compromise. But when you are looking at a higher force, which is God, that you don't want anything that will get God angry, right? Then you will be willing to hold on to it. There are three references I want to give as I conclude. The first reference is where the Bible says that when we are actually people who are looking for quick gain or shortcuts, we are going to regret for it. He said, bread of the city is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth shall be filled with gravel. So bread of the city is just moral of corruptness, right? Then the another place he said, better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. So when we are doing things because we want to amass wealth very fast, want to get shortcuts, the Bible says end of the day. So I don't want to have why. And then finally, I also guard my heart against envy and discouragement. When you look around you and you see a lot of people who are using shortcuts, faster. I remind myself that the Bible says I should not fret myself because of evildoers who tend to progress. So my focus should be to do good and be contented with what I have. So this is just my major why, which keeps me in holding on to integrity. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's a good way to sum up everything that we've discussed this morning. The whole idea is that we are intentional about our actions. It's not going to be easy, like we say every day. But I think there's the Washington that says is a threat to success or a threat to excellence or something. When you have it easy, it doesn't get you to where you need to be. Let's try as much as possible to do the hard things, do the hard stuff now. Things will fall in place. That's what I believe. But we have to be consistent with our actions, consistent with our thoughts, and then keep living out the life. Sometimes you remember the bad things you did before and you're asking yourself, did I actually do all these things? But it's important also to know that, yes, you can do all those things, but then that's how life is. Every day, make an effort to be a better person. Do we have new people who are yet to introduce themselves? Any new, this is your first time coming, do you want to say hi to the house and welcome? Welcome to Character Room. Anyone? This is your first time, you want to say hello to us and just introduce yourself briefly. Anyone? Don't be shy.
Mr. Ade.
Okay. Leave Mr. Ade. Mr. Mensa, go ahead, please. You can
Good
show us your
morning,
video.
ma'am. Okay. Let me hold on.
Yes, Mr. Ade, hold on, please. Mr. Mensa, go ahead. Mr. Mensa, go ahead. Mr. Ade will go after you.
Okay, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Mensa Emmanuel. I am not a professional yet, but I'm a student, and yeah, this is my first time here.
Welcome. Welcome. This space is not for students, but then Mensa made me do something I'm not supposed to do. But he helped me talk about character woman. He was like, okay, Flora, let's do this. He's just coming for today and tomorrow. Let's see if we are going to allow him. I was also having conversation with someone who said, Oprah, you need to make this open and not just for professionals as well, but we can leave it open for at least people in the university to join the forum like that. So we'll discuss that tomorrow, but for today, Mr. Welcome. Mr. Dekile, go ahead.
Good morning, Character Room. I want to say a big thank you to this opportunity of coming to this house. And in all honesty, I think I consider this room to be a moral room where we learn a lot. I've been learning since Monday. And I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Tunde for introducing this house to me. And I trust that we'll have more people coming in there and we'll be more effective and efficient in our society. Thank you for all you do, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dekile. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for being part of today's conversations. It's not going to be easy like always, but let's try. We'll meet again tomorrow. Tomorrow we have someone who is going to share with us a little bit around integrity, but then in a more from our own place of knowledge and things that she's also doing. So please let's come early and listen to her and contribute and also learn from one another. Let's try as much as possible to come in at 7. Please. It's also part of integrity we're talking about. We agreed 7. Please don't come at 7:30. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have a beautiful day. Remember that people are watching what you are doing, so do the right things. Bye for now.